Hello everyone and welcome back to Navis Nobilite. I am Captain Zelnick and I am here to tell you about the Necron fleet, the harvest fleet of the Necrons. Now, a couple very important things. In regards to the fluff and how the rules are designed, this is very much a pre Stormlord, pre Silent King era. This is made back in the day when the Necrons themselves were little more than voiceless monstrosities that followed dark gods of the material realm. So a lot of the lore is very out of date. A lot of the descriptions do not apply into the modern era for the most part. But ultimately, the way that the Necrons play in Battlefleet Gothic compared to, say, the way that they're supposed to play on the battlefield of Warhammer 40k, they're still relevant and they still correlate. The Necrons are the undisputed most powerful race in the game. They have the best ships, the highest firepower, and the best rules. They are uncharacteristically lethal. They can walk up to pretty much anything else in the game and simply delete it off the board. In some cases, many people view that the reason why the Necron ships are so pointy and so hook-shaped is because you're supposed to put your hand around in the center of the crescent and use it to bludgeon your opponent to death instead of actually playing the game. And for those who don't know how the Necrons function, they're going to encounter that same exact effect. The Necron fleet is insurmountably powerful. Even the ridiculous rules-breaking power of the Eldar have significant problems fighting them. And a lot of people simply don't understand why. And the reason is, when they were being designed, the guys who made the fleet took the lore of the Necrons being literally billions of years older than anyone else on the current stage to heart. It means that when it comes to their heights of technological advancement, which would be reflected in their starships, they would be the kings. And it means that when you are fighting them, it's a lot less about defeating the enemy fleet and a lot more about surviving long enough to do enough damage to eke out a meager victory. A meager victory against the Necrons is, in fact, a mighty victory in reality. The Necrons are not unbeatable. They have a number of catastrophic weaknesses that can be exploited, and if you are good with the fleets that you are utilizing, you will have and will see victory. It just won't be in the kind of victory that you're normally used to. So, one thing that Necrons utterly lack. Necrons have no launch capacity. There are no carriers in the Necron fleet, mostly because they don't see a need for it. What's the point of launching fighters and bombers when I have a star pulse generator and I can simply delete off the board incoming enemy ordnance? Also, the Necrons are not particularly good at boarding. Catching them can be difficult, but if you do, and you board them, you will have an advantage. Mostly in the sense that all of their damage mitigation powers simply don't work from boarding actions. Hit and run attacks such as teleport attacks or assault boats, similarly, have no save unless the Necron player goes on brace for impact. And if they do that, they become much easier to shoot. Now, I'm sure all of you have noticed that a lot of this video is about how to deal with that jerk friend who decided to play Necrons. There are a lot of reasons to play Necrons. For any of you who have watched the classic sci-fi TV show Babylon 5, and you watched the Vorlons and the Shadows swooping around with this, seemingly magical like grace, firing weapons that simply carve enemy vessels in half, regardless of any sign of, shielding or armor. This is the fleet for you. This is what the Necrons do. And, just like in Babylon 5, managing to damage or destroy even one of their smaller cruiser-class vessels is a mighty victory, and is something that you trumpet instead of being happy that the entirety of the Necron fleet has been destroyed. If you are facing off against a skilled Necron player, you should not aim to win via boarding them, as in clearing the board of them. Forgive my use of a confusing term. You will not clear the board of the Necron player in all likelihood. What you will do is if you destroy one or two of his cruisers, or, heaven forbid, you destroy his battleship, you've won the game. It doesn't matter how many of your ships have been lost. The losses accrued upon the Necron player for the loss of even one of these harvest cruisers is something that is very hard for them to overcome. And if that tomb ship dies, then it's over for the Necron player. They can at best eke out a close draw, and usually not even that. But if you want that unique ability to Yeetus Deletus enemy ships right off the board, and you want to feel like you're a god in space, the Necrons are for you. So go ahead and watch the videos that revolve around their rules and revolve around how to beat them. Because while they are very, very powerful, they are not indestructible. All right, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all again in the next video.